So we're going to just go through the bills really quickly that are our priorities that I mentioned. Let's first talk about medical marijuana. Is there anybody here who is really interested in getting medical marijuana access in Texas? That's right. All right. And I know we have some patients here, and I want to thank you for coming. I know that it can be an effort to make it out to the Capitol, especially those of y'all who are traveling. So I appreciate you tremendously. Your advocacy is invaluable, coming and talking about your story with legislators. So I thank you very much for being here today. So so we've seen a couple versions of medical marijuana introduced in the Texas House and even one in the Senate. One in particular, one proposal is a CBD only proposal, right? So it takes one compound of this plant and only allows access to that one compound for a very strict number of people. Now, obviously, that is not the comprehensive program that we would like to see, where patients with qualifying conditions have access as long as their doctor has a recommendation. So we'd like to see that obviously expanded and allow for more patients to have access to this medicine that we know is working for them in other states. But another bill that's been introduced several times by Elliott Neistat is an affirmative defense bill. And this bill would allow you to have a defense prosecution if you are using marijuana medically and get in trouble for that, get arrested. Now, this is a decent step in the right direction because you don't get a criminal record, right? You're not going to be convicted of it as long as the judge and jury agree that you have a bona fide medical condition. But you're still arrested, you still have to go to trial, and you still have to resort to the criminal market in order to get your medicine. So while it is a step in the right direction, we do have a page in there for everyone who serves on a medical committee or health committee about that bill being a good step in the right direction. What we want to see is a comprehensive whole plant bill. This is going to be a program that allows patients to have safe and legal access, which means they register with the state. As long as they have a qualified condition, they get a registration card, and that allows them access to dispensaries, which would be basically similar to pharmacies. It's a little bit different technically, but it's similar to that. It's a storefront. A lot of them are in the medical settings. The cultivators that are agriculture industry in Texas, creating the plant for consumption by patients. Manufacturers creating those infused products that I mentioned earlier that a lot of patients prefer to consume. And then also laboratories, which are really important. Laboratories allow the contents to be tested for potency, so you know exactly what you're getting. It's important so that you know, and making sure that it's contaminant-free. And that's really important. So that's the two sides, kind of the two pillars of this medical marijuana program. It's the registration for patients, so they're safe and there's no fear of arrest. And then also the business side of things, so that there's a legal market for this, so that it's business owners providing this medicine to patients, rather than what patients are getting now, which is kind of taking what they can get, because there are patients using it with success, and it's cartels that are bringing it in, and gangs that are controlling it. So we want to see that market regulated and looked at as legitimate in the state of Texas with business owners. Our second bill, which is our highest priority this legislative session, is our decriminalization bill, HB 507, introduced on December 15th, as I mentioned, by Representative Moody. What this bill does is it makes the possession of 1 ounce or less just a simple fine, $100 fine, no arrest, no jail time, and no criminal record for the possession of this plant, which is, as I mentioned, objectively safer than alcohol and many of the prescription drugs that people are using, even safer than aspirin and caffeine, quite frankly. And so it's time for a change. Most Texans agree, the vast majority of Texans agree it's time for a change, and HB 507 is that bill. Representative Moody is the author of that bill, our champion. He's been doing a lot of great work. He's here with us today, and I'd like to welcome him up if he has a few